Alrighty, so the party scene, ha ha ha. Basically, you invite everyone you want to invite to the party, and you have fun. You can either have a quiet evening, but it turns out rowdy anyway, or you can have an energetic evening at the start. So I chose to have an energetic evening, and I invited everybody. And it was a blast. It was the best. You talk to everybody, you go around and you just listen to their conversations. You really see them loosen up a lot. You see Tali get drunk. Like, she gets smashed. She goes into a bathroom and is just not having it. That's where if you romance her. Yeah, she goes into a bathroom and she's just not having fun. Samara is one of the people who stick to being normal. Like, they're normal, but she does get into the groove and starts dancing and stuff. Rex and Javik tried to take Joker out shooting. I supported him to not have to, because then he would have just died anyway. What else? They had a huge, I swear, Jack, Tali, Miranda, a whole bunch of people were in the kitchen dancing like maniacs. Samantha Trainer was talking to all the people from the Normandy that had been there from like the beginning, and was saying how I'm glad I've been a part of this. It was like the start when everything wasn't so insane. But as the night went on, then you start seeing Grunt stopping randoms from coming in, and they're like all screaming fan people, and it was hilarious because if you did open the door, they weren't there. So I would have been funny if you let them in, but I didn't because you couldn't, I don't think. Rex and Javik had fun talking amongst themselves. Liara, Kaden, and Jacob had a bit of an issue with, what's his face? James, because they were saying biotics or physical, and I went with biotics because I'm also biotic, so I felt that it was right. And then Liara lifted James up in the air. And then Miranda started dancing. Oh, and then Miranda and Jack had a bit of a spat, but it was funny. It was good because then Shepard's like, just kiss already, and they're like, what? It was entertaining. What else happened? There's an aftermath of the. There's an actual aftermath. Of the party as well. But what else happened at the party? Oh, Edie confronts Trainer about all those things she would say about her voice, about how attractive her voice was, and it went into detail, and Tali's like, I'm so uncomfortable. And then, what else happened? Edie tried to get Joker to dance, and then I supported it, so they danced, and I thought it was cute. And then that was funny. Because she's just like, dance with me, Joker, what is this? Everyone else is dancing. Kasumi is a bit weird. She was going through my underpants drawer. Yep. And then I went in the bathroom and she's like, occupied. Oh, that's awkward. She was being invisible on the toilet. Yeah, so she was browsing my underpants drawer, and apparently Shepard has pink undies. If you're a girl, Shepard has pink underpants. That's awkward. I don't really know what. Usually, doesn't Shepard wear black or something? I don't know. But that was really funny. And when you wake up, if you have your romance with you, and then you go around and you see what everyone else is doing, most people were really, really hungover and wanted tea. James and Jack were, Jacob and Jack were being a bit weird, and they were doing exercises. Jacob was making eggs. Kaden was a bit hyper. Tali was in another room being really, really hungover. Joker had his head on the table and was just going, ugh. Edie was fine. Miranda was just like, this is lovely. And Grunt, at some stage, was in the shower. And then I don't know what happened to him. Like, he was in the shower having a bit of snooze. I don't even know what happened to half these people because they were, like, going nuts. Samara was somewhere. What else? Don't even know. Javik and stuff was alright. They were fine. They can hold their liquor down. But everyone had fun, which is beastly. So now I'm going to talk to you about the romances that you can have with the different type of characters. And there's one romance that I really have to talk to you about because it was the best romance that I watched. And I'm like, oh my god, this would have been amazing. Jeez, guys. Top-notch job. So let's talk about all the romances there are. So you have your romance with Ashley and Caden. I actually never seen one with Ashley because I don't think many people did it with her. Oh, that sounded weird in so many ways. So mine was with Caden, and it was all beautiful. It was lovely. Then there's one with Liara. That was quite nice. I really quite liked Liara's. Garrus's, you know, sometimes I don't even know how to say his name, Garrus. I really liked his. That was the best. I have to talk about this one. So, Garrus's romance was, you went to a bar, and it was supposedly your first date. And you're playing the first date thing. And then you're talking, and Shepard's just like trying to make you feel a bit more comfortable. But it doesn't work, really. Until you start dancing. And then Shepard's the one who's uncomfortable. And she's just like, wait, what are you doing? No. And then they start doing a tango. And James is actually in the background, and he's coming to watch now. And you can either do it right, or you can really go dramatic, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. And the renegade way, you put your leg up on Garrus's leg and you lean back, and then there's another part where you like fling off into James. That was so cool. I watched that and I'm like, oh my god, I wish I was doing this one. And then they come back and everyone's laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is good fun. But they go on a whole dance, and I thought that was like the cutest thing. Jack's romance, I like her second part of the romance where she gives you a tattoo. I like that part. Talia's romance can just shut up because she starts singing and it's really stupid. Ugh. Steve Cortez's romance is kind of nice. I mean, it's okay. Samantha Trainor's romance is nice if you go, I don't know, if you go Paragon on her. I think it's Paragon. It's really nice because then they all have fun in the hot tub because they always end up in the hot tub. Jacob's never goes anywhere. Miranda's is okay. I liked hers at the when they went out in town. I like that one. Who else is there? Oh, and then there's the James romance. Say what? I know, if you don't romance anybody, I'll go back to Thane in a minute. If you don't romance anybody, then you can romance James and you can start to woo him. I really recommend watching this one because it makes James uncomfortable for like a long period of time. And you go up to him and Shepard says, don't you like what you see? And it's just like, no. I totally. And it's the funniest thing. And then at the party, you actually get together with James if you go with this sort of renegade option, which is for him to go with the one magical kind of night thing, and you wake up together, but then it's never going to last because he says, let's not talk about it, and you're just like, oh, fine, go make me some eggs. But that was like the cutest thing, and I wish that if that was, that doesn't affect anything else, which is really sad, but that would have been definitely one of my favorite moments, I think, in the whole DLC. One of my favorite moments. Of course, then you've got Thane's romance, which made me cry because it's the funeral and Shepard chokes up, and then you watch the videos that Thane sends you, and it's really, really sad because he's like, I'm sorry, I have to say this even though they're not going to get to you. And then Shepard's crying, and then I'm like, oh my god, why does this have to do this to me? Why? Another thing that happened though is that Morden, since you don't see Morden, Morden sends you a a recording of his singing and some other little songs. And he does an Amazing Grace parody, which I thought was really cute and funny. And I'm like, oh my god, I know this song. I'm really happy with how the Sam Hewlett composed the music. The music is actually in it, unlike Omega. So yeah, thank bloody god. But you have no idea how much I love this DLC now. It was such an amazing experience to play through. There were so many funny scenes, like the I Should Go scene in the plot and the toothbrush scene. I recommend watching everything. You know what I'm talking about. If the toothbrush and the I Should Go, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen it or you've played through the DLC. But I love it so much. I can't express to you guys how much, if you second thinking about getting this, you need to get it, because it's like everything in it just comes together. It's hilarious. It is the best ride to have. It'll make you sad, it'll make you laugh, it'll make you cry, maybe. But it'll make you really happy. So my verdict for this has to be a 9, because it's a fantastic ending, really. This is the ending. Fantastic to celebrate. It's like a celebrate. It's to celebrate the journey of Shepard and the whole crew, and you really do have hilarious fun. You take the jokes sometimes a little too far. It's packed with content. It's a great new adventure, and what I like about it is that it's far from Mass Effect 3's tone a little. I love that, how it's but it. You know when you like how it's done that way, but then you don't, because there's a whole Reaper invasion going on. It's just like, that makes no sense. But I love it, and I really think that when they said at the end, where it's about, we've had a good ride and it was the best, they really did mean that. I think it was the best ride, and it was the best. And no one's going to forget Mass Effect. It was such a good series. When it was over, I'm like, oh my god, it's the end of the era. But yeah, guys, you've got to get this. It was amazing. It was just like, it ended with just the last lingering look at the Normandy. It was perfect, and it was the best. So guys, you've got to watch it, or play through it, please, because it was amazing. So yeah, and I will talk. So thank you for watching. Please like this video. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. I usually try to put a video out at least once a week. So yeah, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.